Alright, I decided to backtrack a little bit because I realized I didn't show a few things, because I know this game so well that I was just going straight for the objective, but like I missed most of the context for it. Like, for example, there's a storm, you're supposed to find a cure for Dinofly, and you go to the pharmacy, but they don't have any cure. And then the customer says she can help you, but her umbrella gets stolen, and I'm supposed to retrieve it. So I get a hint on where to go next. So I'm gonna do it just to show you how the sequence of events is supposed to go. This time I'm not gonna scare him.
Monsieur Twinsen, pourriez-vous me dire pourquoi vous me suivez?
Yeah.
Rendez-moi le parapluie. C'est mon oh, excusez-moi. Oh, j'ai cru que c'était le mien. Ah, je suis confus. Oh, je me trompe sans arrêt.
I never really understood if he was really trying to steal the umbrella or if he genuinely mistook it for his one, because he's not actually a thief. Like, he shows up like a regular guy later on, so like, who knows? Like, it's weird that he runs away when he sees you, but I don't know. Yeah. Oh yeah, by the way, I forgot to mention, isn't that the best item get animation? Just look at it. Amazing. So now we have an umbrella. This is the inventory screen. Like I said before, I can either give it to her or keep it for myself. And I can actually give it to her later, even though there's no real reason to by that point, but I'm gonna give it to her immediately.
Oh, vous êtes gentil. Allez donc voir le guérisseur Keraok de ma part sur l'île du désert. Je travaille chez lui et croyez-moi, il y a des trucs qui soigneraient n'importe qui, même un dinosaure.
Yeah, so basically she's saying go to Desert Island because there's a healer that can help you. So what happens if we try to do this? We'll go at the port. Oh, by the way, this guy is fishing up crabs. Whoops. Yeah. You can actually... There's a little Easter egg with him. And it's like, I'm gonna look like a jerk in this playthrough because I'm gonna do all the Easter eggs and things, even though it involves me doing stuff like this. Poor guy. He just jumps in the water. So scared. And I'm gonna kill a crab for no reason. Pretty much the worst guy ever. So, what happens if we try to buy a ticket?
Sur l'île du désert, visitez le temple de Bu, un épisode mouvementé de l'histoire de Twinsen. Salut.
Bienvenue à Interil Ferry, monsieur Twinsen. Pour 10 cash, où désirez-vous aller?
Sur l'île du désert.
Tu possèdes un ticket de ferry.
Vous pourrez embarquer dès que la tempête sera calmée.
Yeah.
Bonjour, Madame Brune.
She's cute.
Bonjour, Monsieur Twinsen. Vous avez vu cette pluie? Entre mes enfants qui devraient faire une balade avec l'école et mon grand-fils qui oublie toujours son parapluie, j'espère qu'ils ne sont pas dehors avec ce temps.
See, she mentioned a son who keeps forgetting his umbrella. I think she's talking about the guy who stole the umbrella. That's why I'm confused, because maybe he honestly thought it was his umbrella and is not a thief. I don't know. I think that's what they were hinting at. But anyway, we can't actually take the ferry as long as the storm is here. But the thing is, when I played the game as a kid, I don't know why, but the ferry was actually here. Like you could see it, even during the storm. And there's a glitch you can do, go to Desert Island while it's still raining, and you're not supposed to. Like if you just stand here and use the ferry ticket, it will, like, the event of you going to Desert Island will still activate. But I'm not going to. I'm gonna do things the right way this time. I could make like a skipping ahead playthrough where I just skip ahead a lot of things and glitch my way through, but like I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. I want to show the actual game. Here's another cool asshole thing you can do. Like if you try to steal from him, you won't be able to, but
On ne touche pas à la caisse.
there's a way to.
Un nitro-méca-pingouin coûte 4 cash.
Ok, j'achète.
Tu viens de trouver un superbe nitro-méca-pingouin. Après l'avoir sélectionné dans l'inventaire, tu dis...
Basically, this item is like a walking mecha penguin that explodes after a few seconds. And if you use it here,
Ne faites pas ça, malheureux, ça va sauter.
yeah, he will get scared and run away. And then you can be a jerk. This is gonna be the LBA2 criminal playthrough. And you can actually re-enter the building
Tu viens de trouver un superbe
and get
nitro-méca-pingouin.
infinite
Après l'avoir...
nitro mecha penguins. But the cash in the register doesn't respawn. So you can do that only once. And you can do this trick only once too, because if you leave the scene and try to do it again, he just won't leave the building again. Like he will get scared, but he won't leave the building, so you can only do this
Tu
once.
viens de trouver un superbe nitro-méca-pingouin. Après...
Like, you don't really need to do this, I'm just doing it to show a little cool stuff. Like you don't even really
Tu
need
viens de trouver un...
all of these mecha penguins, but they're cool. It's always cool to have an explosive weapon.
Tu viens de trouver un super...
Yeah, 5 should be fine. What else didn't I show? Okay, so there's a storm. You can't board the ferry as long as there's a storm. So you're like, what can I do about the storm? And this guy here,
Bonjour. Je ne transporte personne sous l'orage. Je déteste ce temps. Et d'abord, pourquoi le mage météo n'intervient-il pas, hein? Au fait, auriez-vous remarqué que vous pouviez sauter tout en courant, non?
he mentions a weather wizard. In this town, there's a wizard who specializes in weather magic. So we're gonna go talk to him because we really need to get to Desert Island. And we can't as long as there's a storm. Let's see why he's not doing anything about it. Even though, like, in normal circumstances, like, just a little storm wouldn't be a problem, I guess. If you just have a wizard that makes rain stop every time there's a storm, you'd imagine it would create more problems than having a little rain once in a while. But let's, like, this is a special circumstance. So this is the wizard stand. It's actually pretty big on the inside.
Bonjour, maître. Comment expliquez-vous qu'il y ait une tempête en cette saison, maître?
Cette tempête, je n'y peux rien. J'aurais bien aimé nous en débarrasser, mais le phare est fermé et je n'ai pas trouvé le gardien. Lui seul peut me faire accéder au sommet du bâtiment. De là-haut, je pourrais lancer une conjuration. C'est l'unique moyen de neutraliser cette tempête qui isole l'île. Pas de gardien, pas de conjuration, c'est comme ça.
Mais le gardien, je l'ai vu. Il est prisonnier à l'intérieur d'une grotte dans la falaise. Je dois aller le libérer.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I already found them, but this is why we're looking for the lighthouse keeper, because the wizard needs to get the top of the lighthouse. Yeah, there's some little cool things. Like, you can actually make him freak out a little bit here.
S'il vous plaît, ne touchez pas au récipient sur le réchaud, d'accord? Il renferme une créature terrible.
What else? There's a little Easter egg here. Don't know what this guy has been up to, but looks interesting.
Non parlez pas, s'il vous plaît. C'est juste, une sorte de petite expérience personnelle.
Don't wanna know. You can actually access the sewer from here, but I don't need to right now. Another thing here.
Ne touchez pas à ça. J'essaye de créer un anneau enchanté et cette marmite ne doit pas bouillir. Une fois que je me serai procuré une perle d'incandescence, je pourrai invoquer la foudre.
Yeah, we're actually gonna need this later, but there's nothing you can do about it right now. So, let's go rescuing the lighthouse keeper. I don't need to go through the spider thing again, because I know the cliff is right there, so I can just jump off the cliff and save some time. I don't remember what's the right spot though. Is this okay? Yeah, looks like. Yeah, I don't know if this was intentional or not, but it makes this game a lot easier. Is if you pull up the behavior menu, you can cancel any animation that you're at the moment. So it's like if you have to cancel a jump, pull up the menu, and it would just stop in midair. Just resets the animation. Same goes for attacking, so you can just skip the part of the wind up animation. Like, I don't know, I played this game so many times, I just do it out of habit, even though maybe it wasn't intended, maybe it makes things too easy, I don't know, but I'm just too used to it by now. So, let's go save this lighthouse keeper. Yeah, these things shoot fireballs, but if you go in discrete mode, they actually fly in an arc, avoiding you entirely. This is how you're supposed to go through this part. Wow, I hate the bats. Oh, stupid snake. Yeah. So we need to go into sprint mode and hit the switch here. What else? There's a clover leaf in here. Clovers are like one-ups. Their lives, and you can see there's 2 containers there. You can get more containers later in the game, and they're just extra lives. Every time your health reaches 0, you lose a life, and you don't respawn at the beginning of the room like in LBA2 you did, but here you just respawn right where you were when you died, which makes things a little easier. Except if you like fall into the water or into lava, then it will respawn you in the like where you were before you jumped into the lava or in the water. Can I jump from here? No. Fucking bad. Yay. Yeah, we actually need to do a little jump to reach this part. Boom. stay away. And there's this little cutscene here.
Salut Joe. Alors, tu as toujours autant de problèmes avec tes pouvoirs magiques?
Non, non, ça s'arrange.
This is pretty random, but it's like it actually fits if you know who Joe is. He's a very minor character from LBA1. He's like a little elf that's hidden in a room in the game, and he mentioned how he was put there by the programmers of the game.
Tiens,
because
un signe de Sundel. Ils sont vénérés par tous les mages.
Sorry. He mentioned that he was put there by the programmers because he wasn't intended to be in the game and it could cause bugs. But just a little in-joke, I guess, between the developers. But he's an actual character in this game, and he plays a role later on. So, that's a mini Tralu thing. The Tralu is just a monster that kidnapped the lighthouse keeper, and it's just a bigger guy that looks like one of these. They're pretty nasty. Ow. They bounce around a lot, and they like spit stuff at you. Ah. One cool thing about combat in LBA2 compared to the first game is that you have a lot more options to get out of the way. Like if you hold X and press a direction, you can roll or jump in a direction to sidestep and dodge projectiles and stuff. And you couldn't in LBA1. That was a big problem. You can jump from here, or you can just use this rock. Doesn't matter. Maybe it's just better to use the magic ball. Maybe it's just better if they shut up. There you go. Honestly, for the beginning of the game, just punching enemies is more efficient, I feel like, compared to using your magic ball. Another cool thing is that in LBA1, the strength or your melee attack didn't scale with your magic level. So, like after the very beginning of the game, you couldn't hurt enemies by punching them. But in this game, it actually scales. So every time you get a new magic level, you can hit enemies that your magic ball can hit. So it doesn't get redundant. And there we are. I guess that's the boss battle. Yeah, using the magic ball is actually better because if you use your punches, he will hit your. I think he has a special recoil animation that hits you with his tail. I think so. I don't remember, but just much easier to use the magic ball in this case. There's all the stuff laying around now. And here he is.
Oh, merci, Monsieur Twinsen. Vous répétez un nouveau morceau quand cette saleté de tralu a croqué ma guitare. En plus, on dirait qu'il en avait déjà attrapé d'autres avant moi. Ah, bon, allez, je retourne au phare, sinon je vais me faire enguirlander.
This guy is really excitable. I wonder what this poor guy is. He's just dead, and he's never mentioned again. Look at him go. Uh-oh.
Twinson, enfin, mais qu'est-ce que tu fais? Je compte sur toi pour soigner le Dinofly et au lieu de cela, monsieur part à l'aventure dans les souterrains. Oh, c'est plus fort que toi, il faut toujours que tu joues les héros.
Bon, viens Zoé, je te raccompagne.
Zoe is pretty badass in this game. Like, is a pregnant wife who just fought a spider and jumped down a cliff just to make sure you got back on track. No, actually, in the first game she was just a damsel in distress, and that's kind of lame. But in this game, she has a more active role, and it's like she's not a major player, but she does stuff. She's pretty cool. She even fixes Winston's car by herself. Like, she has some mechanic skills. That's pretty neat.
Alors, Twinsen, ce petit monstre, c'est pour bientôt?
Eh oui, la famille va bientôt s'agrandir. Vous savez, nous sommes très contents. C'est notre premier et il ne devrait plus tarder maintenant.
Je viens de croiser le gardien qui rentrait au phare. Il m'a dit qu'un véritable héros venait de le délivrer d'un monstre vorace.
C'est moi qui l'ai libéré.
Bravo! Eh bien maintenant, si vous aimez le grand art, rendez-vous au phare. Vous allez voir ce que vous allez voir.
So in this section, we're just gonna walk with Zoe to the lighthouse. I don't like how slow you move, and you can't switch mode while you're with Zoe. You can just walk. But it's a very short section, and I guess it's kind of cool that we programmed this in, like specifically for this scene. Just cute. I like when you check out signs, you get like a panoramic view of the area. It's kind of cinematic. You can't really see that well now because it's dark and raining, but usually it looks pretty cool. Well, for its time at least. Like, of course these graphics aren't stellar or anything, but I like them. I like them. This game is from 1998. Here's the girlfriend of the lighthouse keeper.
Oh, la pigeonnier est revenue grâce à vous. Oh, merci, Monsieur Twinson.
Cute. And here we are. Here we are.
Nous sommes prêts, maître. Suivez-moi.
I really like this cutscene as a kid. It took me a long time to get to this point, but I remember I needed my dad to be there while I was fighting the Falu because I was scared. I was very young. Yep, there's aliens now in this game. It's gonna make more sense later. Ominous.
Habitants de la planète Twinson, nous sommes venus animés par un esprit de paix. Merci d'avoir dissipé cette tempête qui nous empêchait d'atterrir. Cela fait bien des cycles que nous observons votre planète et nous avons décidé de venir étudier votre culture sur place. Nous avons traversé l'espace dans le seul but de découvrir votre civilisation.
There you go. There's aliens now. And it's a lot more, like, the weather is nice now. You can actually see a little better the town, it's a lot more colorful. It just says the same thing, and let's check out how peaceful are they really. I don't like the look of that. Oh, that wasn't suspicious at all. What else? Oh, I'm gonna go to Twin's neighbor because we're gonna need to do it later, so might as well.
Bonjour, voisin. Ah, bonjour, Twinson. Je remets à jour les travaux de mon défunt fils. Certains plans datent de l'époque où il a refait le réseau d'égouts de l'île. Tiens, on dirait un plan. Il est complètement illisible. Il y a là un plan des égouts très instructif. Pour le consulter, tu devras attendre que je l'ai restauré. Pour cela, j'ai besoin d'un flacon d'acide gallique. Malheureusement, il n'y en a plus sur notre île.
Yeah. His son was an architect, but I guess he died somehow. My personal theory is that it's the skeleton that was in the, like, where the lighthouse keeper was being kept. Like, I think that was his son, because his son is actually in the first game, and he's still an architect. And here he's just dead, even though he's super old and he wasn't. So it's like he must have died in some other way, but it's never mentioned again, so who knows. Let's see. Well, I'm gonna end this video now. I'm gonna continue in the next part. Goodbye.